Okay, I'm back. So, welcome to my channel, y'all. All of this, yeah. Just want to get to the point. Um, so where was I? Okay, yeah. I was so desperate for someone to love me that I accepted him with all his flaws, and he accepted me. And I didn't have I'm trying to I guess I didn't have the patience to I can't say, I have to be honest with myself. I have to be honest with myself. Like, I saw the signs in the beginning. He even told me who he was, but because I was so desperate for love, I threw caution out the window, and then we ended up bringing a child into this world, and then he dies. Um, but I can take responsibility in not recognizing me not being probably as supportive as I should have been, or walking away and letting him deal with his own demons on his own before it got to the fall, before he passed. I don't know, but I'm just taking responsibility that I played a part in the destruction of a lot of things that I went through in these relationships. Picking people out of desperation because they showed me some type of love or affection, when a lot of the times it was lust, and I couldn't recognize that that's what it was at the time, because I just wanted so bad for someone to love me. Like, growing up, I didn't feel that from my mom. I didn't get that from my dad in the years where it mattered, I guess. They just weren't available to me. And my foster mom, she was just probably overwhelmed, or maybe her lack of showing love to a child. I don't know. I'm realizing that we all have our journeys, and maybe I was too quick to judge people, and I wasn't looking at myself, y'all. I just really wasn't looking at myself. Like I said, I didn't think that men could be hurt, that their feelings could be hurt, because I didn't think they had feelings. It just, from my experience, they fucking could leave relationships and get with other women and just leave me, and it seemed like it just didn't matter. Like, and so that's what I started doing. I started becoming that person, like, that stopped caring about people's feelings. Like, some of the things that I said to them, I didn't care about how they felt. Like, when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, the one that I was with for 3 years, I didn't even let him, like, explain. I didn't even let him talk, really. Like, I just was like, it's over. I want my space. I want you gone. I know, matter of fact, I didn't even, not immediately. He felt the need to leave, but I didn't, like, put him out. Like, he left. I was like, you didn't have to leave like that, but he left. He probably wanted to get away from me. My energy probably was off or whatever. I blamed him for a lot of stuff that I should have took responsibility for. Because let me tell y'all, okay, the people I got to see in my meditation, the people who really love me, I got to see what that was. Like, with my ex-boyfriend, that I was with for 3 years, we both came together trauma bonded. Um, he was going through something really major, and I had just lost my youngest son father, and I was filled with so much rage, rampage, that instead of taking the time to heal, me and him just like basically he basically came in to help me heal, and that's what he did. And I didn't give him acknowledged for that. Like, when my youngest son father died and my ex-boyfriend came around, he felt guilty. He felt, because we knew each other for years and we had a little fling, but he was emotionally unavailable, so I moved on. He felt guilty, and he came in to basically help me heal. I guess we helped each other heal. But he was crucial to the part of my life where I was able to focus and heal. Like, he drove everywhere. He supported everything that I was doing. Even if he didn't want to, he still supported everything. There was hardly any pushback from him. He wasn't, he wasn't, I'm trying to be careful what I say, y'all, because I'm over here, spiritually getting my ass kicked, I guess. He was sent to me at the time that I needed. Okay, I'll say that. And I worked and he worked, and he allowed me to stop working, and he took over everything so that I could go to school and learn a trade, and he held shit down. And it wasn't perfect. It wasn't, there was ups and downs within that, but, he did what he had to do to make sure that I could focus on me and my healing. He took me to the beach, and I never been to the beach. That's crazy, because I've lived in Maryland all my life and never been to the beach, down the ocean. We were friends. We were friends first. So it was easy for us to come together in our time of need. Cause we were friends. So we went out of town together. He just helped supported me a lot, and I didn't give him credit for that. So, ex-boyfriend, thank you. You know who you are. Initial starts with a D. So, he bought me a lot. He spent a lot of money on me. He spent a lot of money on me and the kids, and he just came in and he became the anchor that I needed at the time. And I was hard on him. He came in knowing that my heart was not open. He came in knowing that it was going to take time for us to grow and for me to really open up. But it really never, on my part, the openness really never happened, because it's hard I hold grudges, y'all. I hold grudges like it's nobody's business. Like, I can hold a grudge for years and years and years and years and years and years, and I'll tell the motherfucker I got over it, but I really didn't. I just got over it so I could tell you I just told you I got over it so you can get out my face. That's pretty much how that would go. So he what's the word I want to use? when I had those type of feelings for him, those so-called love feelings and all of that, he wasn't receptive. He wasn't receptive. He was emotionally unavailable. And so I shut it down. Once I shut those feelings down and I moved on, and me and him stopped being friends. I met my youngest son father, and me and him there was nothing there no more. Like the feeling, you rejected me, and so I shut down. So when he came back around to be in my life, you know, I really wasn't fully open, even though he swooped in and kind of saved the day. Took care of the bills and stuff because I was out of work, and he came in knowing all of that, and he still, you know, stayed around and put up with my shit. And I ain't give him enough credit for that. He had his issues, okay? Don't get me wrong. He had his issues, and so did I. The thing is this: my tolerance for dealing with shit is very low, and other people's tolerance for dealing with shit is high. And if I continue to try to work with you, and because that's how I feel like I tried to work with him and everything, and he just wouldn't break that barrier he had. Then this shit got old. Shit got old between us. But I never told him how much I appreciated everything that he did. My spiritual growth came and started with him being in my life. I would not have been able to go through the processes that I needed to without him being there. That's just that. That's facts on facts. So, ex-boyfriend D, thank you. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your, thank you for everything. I can get detailed, but the video's already long enough. Thank you for everything that you provided for me. He helped me maintain my stability where I am now. And I'm pretty much, when I broke up with him, it was due to selfishness. I would say selfishness, but it needed to be done because I needed to heal. I needed to take my time to heal. And that's not what I did, though. That's not what I did. When I broke up with him, I just was still looking for something outside of myself. So the relationships that came after him, they were still dealing with a person who didn't deal with their trauma. So once again, when I left my ex-boyfriend and I went back out into the dating world, I'm still meeting people who didn't deal with their traumas because I didn't deal with mine. Well, they had traumas, whatever. They had issues because I had issues that I didn't deal with. And so the person I met after I left him, I talk about him in a whole nother video. I talked about him in a video before, a couple videos before this one, but yeah, he knows, if he's watching, he knows who he is. I met him after him, and we just had a real spiritual connection. You know, let me piggyback. I was working on me after I left him. It wasn't enough, though. It wasn't enough. I was, you know, I got into the meditations, and I got a poem I wrote to myself. I really was trying to love on me, but then I stopped, and I wanted to find my spiritual partner, and I didn't give myself time enough to heal the shit that I had within me so I can find so-called partner, you know. So the guy I met after him, he helped me grow, but it was turmoil, a bunch of turmoil and lies, and I'm not going to get into all of that because I talk about him in a whole nother video. But what I didn't do was apologize to him. I did, but I guess I have to do it again. For the part that I played, I sent him a whole lot of my emotional unstableness. I'm trying to think of a word. I was a lot. I was a lot. And he told me I was a lot. But he wasn't being honest with me. You know, and me taking responsibility for the part I played, and me accepting the dark sides of myself and the things that I've said to people that was wrong and things that I shouldn't have said. I just need to acknowledge that, because these people that I was with, I was attracting people who was like me. But I couldn't see that at the time. You know, I couldn't see that these was a bunch of unhealed people that I was trying to love on, and they wasn't reciprocating the love to me. Well, he wasn't, you know. It wasn't reciprocal. I was giving too much of myself to a lot of them. A lot of these men I'm talking about, I did give a lot of myself. I gave a lot of myself. I lost myself. I lost my journey. I lost who I was supposed to be as well. But I wasn't perfect. You know, I wasn't perfect. I did my shit. So this is me talking about my shit. And not taking responsibility and acknowledging that I was just doing too much sometimes. I probably pushed some people away. My attitude, me not being emotionally stable. I met emotionally unstable people. So I have to take responsibility in that too. Like, you know, I can't help that some of these people that I affected and hurt some of these people in such a way that I couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see how me going on this rampage was hurting people. Some shit I probably should have kept in a book or a diary instead of speaking out loud about it. But that's why I'm doing this publicly, because I said a lot of shit publicly that I probably shouldn't have said. And I just didn't tell y'all the other side, who I was in these relationships, how much of a bitch I was in some of these relationships, how much it was, I didn't understand other people's side. Everything was black and white. I couldn't see. I just couldn't see. I couldn't see the shit. I gave myself away to people I shouldn't have. I should have took more time with somebody and get to know some of these people. So I have to take responsibility for the part that I played in attracting some of these men that I attracted, and recognizing that they probably did love me, but it was toxicity involved in that, in some of them, not all of them, some of them, because of the position I played, because of who I attracted. I did attract some fucking people that was in low energies, because that's where I was at, you know. I just couldn't see. I couldn't see my own shit. And that's what this full moon made me see. It made me see my own shit. It made me see that I hurt some people, that I could have addressed things in a different way. I could have handled myself better in certain situations. And I was in my ego a lot. I had a friend tell me that, and he was somebody I cared about, and he was telling me that I was in my ego a lot and I wasn't listening. I was like, you and yours. Woo, that was tough. And so those two guys, ex-boyfriend, the guy I met after ex-boyfriend, even though, you know, like I said, they had they shit, I had my shit too, and I should have walked away sooner. Therefore, both parties couldn't get hurt. Like when I see that they are problematic, because sometimes I do get like downloads or whatever that these people be problematic, or sometimes they'll tell me they self, and I'll still get involved. Like it's I be feeling like, I used to feel like my love could conquer shit. Like if I loved you hard enough, if I loved you strong enough, that you would return it back to me, and that we could overcome everything. And maybe I was going about that wrong. I don't know. Whatever part that I played in the breakdown of me and some of these relationships that I was in, I'm taking responsibility for it. And